Mission accomplished. Donald Trump just claimed complete and total victory in the war in Iran, and then he announced that we're deploying the 82nd Airborne and sending an additional 2,500 Marines. So, and he's already passing the buck, blaming the entire fucking war on Pete Hegseth. And Trump laid out a 15-point peace plan, handed it to the Iranians. The Iranians took that shit, ripped it up. Said, we ain't doing any fucking deals with you, bro. Every time we fucking negotiate with you, you bomb us anyway. Just like last June during Operation Midnight Hammer, we made negotiations with them, then bombed them. And then again, before the Operation Epstein's Fury began, right? Not only were we making a deal with Iran, Iran agreed to the deal that Trump laid out. And then 2 hours later, we began Operation Epstein's Fury. So at some point, they're gonna learn and go, we're not doing any fucking deals with the Americans. You are the great Satan of this planet. And we are. It's not just us Americans. It is the combination of America and Israel, which is known as the axis of Epstein, right? Because almost everything that Donald Trump is doing is because he is blackmailed by the Israelis. They have a vault in Tel Aviv with videos of him raping children because the president of the United States is a warmongering, sex trafficking child rapist. And 77 million red hat wearing fucking retards voted for him. You have to live with that. I fucking don't. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about. Trump declares victory. Pete Hegseth's getting thrown under the bus. Oh, we do have some good news for the first time in a long time. The district where Mar-a-Lago is in Florida flipped blue. Mar-a-Lago now sits in a Democrat district, bro. It's on top of that, dude. Trump is voting by mail, even though he's trying to ban mail-in ballots. And it's hilarious because Trump has always fucking voted by mail because he's registered to vote in New York, but he lives in Florida. He's always fucking voted by mail. It's absolutely ridiculous. What else? I hate to inform you that this is real. We're gonna watch this. It's over. So if you're confused at what you're looking at, there is a cheap Slovenian hooker walking down a red carpet next to the Terminator. And the cheap Slovenian hooker also happens to be the First Lady of the United States. She's got a great rack. If you haven't seen it yet, you can look up a picture of the First Lady's tits. Why? I feel like that, here's the thing. I love sex workers. We love our sex workers here. But I do think that should be disqualifying. I don't know. Because at the same time, I would vote for fucking Angela White. Yeah, but I don't know. This is a cheap Slovenian hooker, and I'm not a fan of it. And I really don't like her walking around with a fucking clanker. God, I hate clankers. We're also going to talk about how the fucking psychopathic Israeli dogmen tortured an 18-month-old baby, burning him with cigarettes and slicing him with razors in front of his father in order to pull out a fake confession. What's the word? I forgot the exact word of it, but a false confession from the father. And yes, there is videos and photos of it, and unfortunately, we are going to watch that because it is very important that you understand that the Israelis are such a disgusting people that they are quite literally foaming at the mouth celebrating as they torture literal fucking infants because they're all these psychopathic, demented fucking people. And speaking of the Israelis, we're gonna watch some Gavin Newsom so I can show you why you can't fucking vote for him. All right, other than that, hi, how are you? Welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm Chris Valenti. This is real independent media. I have no advertisers. I have no sponsors. I'll never do an ad read. I'll never have a conversation with a billionaire or a government or a PAC. So I am a dissident of the Fuhrer, which means that my videos don't really get pumped out in the algorithm too much. So if you do want to help me out algorithmically, there's a couple of things you could do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Those 4 things cost you nothing, Ryan. So fucking do it. Okay. Now, if you do want to help me financially, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You could buy merch like the posters we got behind me. We've also got delicious mugs that holds your beverage. We've also got hoodies, and we've got stickers, and we've got some Kami Mommy merch. That's for the girlies and the gays. That's all there. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member. That'll give you access to the member-only content. And you can become a patron on Patreon. Shouts out to anybody and everybody who has ever donated a single single fucking dollar to the channel. You guys are incredible. This entire operation is grassroots funded. I would be nothing without you, which is why I consider myself a megaphone of the people. I owe you that. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. First thing I want to do is show you the latest Trump truths. So he posts a whole bunch of these like chat GPT written like, you know, like this, you know it's chat GPT when he says, it is my great honor, 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 right? That's when he's what's the word, endorsing like fascists to have positions of power. But he stopped at the chat GPT and he posts this. Blame the Democrats for the airport's mess. They want our country to do badly. They want our country to fail. By the way, I need to give you context of this. The Democrats wrote up a proposition that would fund TSA, but not fund ICE, right? And they handed that to Trump, and Trump refused it, right? Now, this is because Trump wants this. He wants the government shut down. He wants TSA lines to be long. He wants to establish ICE having a presence in all the airports and eventually a National Guard thing. I hope you don't think this is ever going to end. He does not want to lose his vice grip over travel. This is a big thing for him, and it will affect the election. 1,000%, it's gonna affect the midterm and the presidential elections. They want our country to fail. They broke the already signed bill because they want to take care of criminals who enter our country illegally rather than American citizens. Thank you to our great ICE patriots for helping. It makes a big difference. I may call up the National Guard for more help, President DJT. Now, we covered this in our last video. ICE is doing nothing at all in these airports, and that's not even like an exaggeration. They're doing so much of nothing that they've resorted to like handing out water bottles to the lines, right? Because ICE is not trained in TSA, bro. ICE doesn't know how to work those fucking X-ray machines. What do you think what do you think, some fucking 19-year-old dumbass fuck in ICE knows how to operate airport security? TSA barely knows how to do fucking airport security, so they just sit around, they walk around, they do fucking nothing. It's absolutely ridiculous. And now he wants to send in the National Guard, which again would still be a waste of funds. Then he posts this. The Democrats don't want to make any deals unless amnesty and citizenship is given to millions of criminals who have entered our country illegally, many of whom have been convicted of serious crimes. Protect America, President DJT. What's funny about that is there is polling out there, and this is 100% real, that if you offered Americans two options, either mass deportation or mass amnesty, the overwhelming majority of Americans would choose mass amnesty. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't apply to some fucking murder rapist who is here illegally. No, it just applies to anybody and everybody who has a clean criminal record that is here illegally, right? Because at the end of the day, being an illegal immigrant is a paperwork violation. That's all it is. You do mass amnesty, figures out the paperwork violation, and now they are tax-paying citizens. They can participate in the economy. We can fucking, as the capitalists would, we can fucking use and abuse you, you know? So it would, hypothetically, it would help the economy if you did mass amnesty, and the overwhelming majority of Americans would choose that. Then he tweets, "Make America great again!" Okay, Grandpa. And then the last one is this. The radical left, country-hating Democrats are trying to create inner chaos to take away from the great military achievement we are having in Iran. They hate seeing us win so completely and decisively, but the American public sees what's going on. America first, President DJT. Oh, is it America first for you to be the best goyim in history? Is it America first for our fat-bodied fascist pedophile to send our boys and girls to go fight in a war in the name of Israel? Is that what it is? Dude, one of these days, Trump is going to come out wearing a fucking yarmulke, 1,000%. I swear to God, they weren't wrong when Mark Levin said that Trump is the first Jewish president. He is doing everything he possibly can to help Israel and doing nothing at all to help the average American. If a single Trump supporter can tell me one fucking thing that Trump has done that benefits your life more than the Epstein class, I'll fucking delete my entire channel. I will delete my entire fucking channel. Fine shit, just texted me. I'm gonna have to take a gander at that. Oh yeah. All right, right back to it. I got more for you. So we're gonna watch Trump here claim that the war has been won and then immediately deploys 2,300 fucking troops.
We've won this. This war has been won. The only one that...
Dude, I already know that like people my age and older are having deja vu to when George W. Bush said, "Mission accomplished." Dude, that was quite literally like, that was monumental when it happened. And now Trump does this every fucking day.
We've won this. This war has been won. The only one that likes to keep it going is the fake news. I mean, the New York Times, you read the New York Times, it's like we're not winning a war where they have no Navy and they have no Air Force and they have no nothing. And we literally have planes flying over Tehran and other parts of their country. They can't do a thing about it. For instance, if I want to take down that...
How come they shot down an F-35 then, Donnie Diddle's kids? They can't do anything about it! F-35 come tumbling out of the sky. And by the way, he's about to start flexing on the fact that the only way that we lost our 3 jets in Kuwait was through friendly fire, which again, I don't believe in. But hey, Donnie, that's my tax dollars shooting down my tax dollars, so it's still not acceptable.
Power plant, that very thing about it. For instance, if I want to take down that power plant, that very big, powerful power plant, they can't do a thing about it.
Oh, really? Really? They can't retaliate by sending a fleet of Shahed drones to destroy desalination plants and electrical grids across the GCC nations? Really? They can't go tit for tat and render the entirety of the Gulf coastal nations fucking uninhabitable because they require water desalination plants in order to give their people water? And are we forgetting the fact that that's where all the fucking data centers are that are propping up the artificial AI bubble that is holding up the US economy? I'm telling you, bro, this has got to be, unironically, the stupidest man in the United States of America.
Like, take me. That's all they can do. Thing about it. It's like, take me. That's all they can do.
That's what Trump says when he's bending over a barrel for fucking Bill Clinton to ram him up his ass. Take me, Bill. Oh!
And yet, if you read the New York Times or if you watch ABC fake news or NBC fake news, you'd say it's a close battle. It's not a close battle.
God, he's so fucking stupid. So, update. Around 2,000 U.S. paratroopers to be sent to the Middle East. This should scare you to your fucking core. I am going to tell you exactly what will happen. 2,000 U.S. paratroopers, I believe, is the 82nd Airborne. Yeah, it is. Here it is. The Army's 82nd Airborne Division. So here's what's going to happen. We are going to attempt to do like a 3-pronged assault. We're going to send in the Marines on an amphibious assault group to take Karg Island. At the same time, we're going to send in the 82nd Airborne Division and try to drop them into mainland Iran to take over Isfahan, Natanz, and Fordow, the quote-unquote alleged nuclear enrichment facilities, okay? Those 2,000 members of the 82nd Airborne, every single one of them is going to die, okay? The Marines on Karg Island, they are going to be stranded on Karg Island once the Iranians hit the warships that sent them with Shahed drones, and potentially all of those Marines, the crackling is happening. Glitching audio? Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry, I had an audio glitch. Had to fix it. But what I was saying is the 82nd Airborne, all 2,000 of them are going to get fucking killed, okay? The Marines, they're going to get stranded on Karg Island, and if we start to actually, like, successfully take the island, the Iranians are going to bomb the ever-loving fuck out of it with cruise missiles, okay? 100% this is going to be a slaughter for American troops, okay? This is going to be a fucking slaughter for American troops. By the way, guys, from now on, mods, only you tell me if my mic is bad. I'm only going to pay attention to you when it comes to microphone issues. I just can't trust the gang. I can't trust the crowd. Okay. The Pentagon has ordered about 2,000 soldiers from the Army's 82nd Airborne Division to begin moving to the Middle East to give President Trump additional military options, even as he weighs a new diplomatic initiative with Iran. The diplomatic initiative is completely and totally fucking over, by the way. The Army, this should scare the shit out of you guys. The Army has raised enlistment age to 42. What? What is this, fucking Ukraine? The fuck? You know what this means? This means they're gonna raise the age of the eligible draft. So we're all gonna die in Iran, I guess? Hell fucking yeah. And also, this should scare the fuck out of you, eases marijuana restrictions. They're doing that for 2 reasons. One, they know when they bring about the draft, all of us fucking smoke weed, bro. Literally everybody fucking smokes weed on the right and the left. So they're like, if we don't let people smoke weed, they're not gonna be able to join the military throughout the draft. And second of all, soldiers have been purposefully smoking weed so that they fail their drug tests and don't have to serve in Operation Epstein's Fury. This should scare the ever-loving fuck out of everybody between the ages of 18 and 42. Okay? That is fucking demented shit. All right, here's a video of Trump passing the buck to Pete Hegseth because he doesn't want to be remembered for Operation Epstein Fury.
I don't want to say this, but I have to. I said, Pete and General Raising Cane, I think this thing's going to be settled very soon. Here they go. Oh, that's too bad.
Oh, that's too bad. So he's pretending like the people who are really leading the war front are General Raising Cane and Pete Hegseth. Now, here's the thing. Those two are warmongering fascists, both of them. So I firmly believe that they want to escalate it. But at the same time, Donald himself also wants to escalate this conflict, and he's passing the buck. All right. Now, we're going to listen to Mike Johnson. I believe he's the Speaker of the House, saying that boots on the ground is not really boots on the ground.
There's talk about the Pentagon is supposedly dispatching 2,000 troops. How is that not putting boots on the ground? And you said we're not at war. How is that not an escalation of war in Iran?
Look, I think it sends a signal to Iran that they better get their act together. We need to resolve this quickly, and that's the president's interest, and that's ours. It's everyone's. We need to. Operation Epic Fury is almost done. I mean, I think the mission.
It's almost done. It's almost done! Okay, just so you guys know, this conflict will either turn nuclear or Trump will completely surrender and withdraw all U.S. troops from the entirety of the Levant. What you are witnessing is the American empire's collapse, okay? We stretched too far, much like Rome did, and when your empire stretches too far, it becomes next to impossible to control it. We are going through how the Roman Empire fucking collapsed.
That was very clearly defined in the beginning. The objectives have been met. We have to get the Strait of Hormuz straightened out.
The Strait of Hormuz straightened out, bro. Okay, so all objectives were met and the war is won. Meanwhile, the global economy is fucking destroyed and Trump is begging Europe and China to come open the Strait of Hormuz.
We need our international partners to help with that because it's a giant project that involves everybody around the world at some level. So I'm optimistic that's going to happen. The buildup of troops.
By the way, this is a closeted homosexual.
Is very different than boots on the ground. We don't have boots on the ground.
What did you just say?
Buildup of troops is very different than boots on the ground. We don't have boots on the ground.
Yes, we do.
I don't think that's the intention, but I think Iran should watch that buildup, and they need to take note of that. They have to.
We don't have boots on the ground. We're just sending boots on the ground. What? Just so you guys know, these motherfuckers are going to say that using a tactical nuke is not the same as starting a nuclear war. They will say that. Come back here when I'm right. I always fucking am. Okay, we got more. All right, this is just a hilarious video. Pete Hegseth is going to make a pretty homoerotic hand movement, and Trump really fucking likes that. Get a look.
The president has made it clear that you will not have a nuclear weapon. The War Department agrees. Our job is to ensure that. And so we're keeping our hand on that throttle as long as as hard as is necessary to ensure.
Huh? Wait. Huh?
As hard as is necessary. As long as hard as is necessary to as long as hard as is necessary to ensure.
You thinking about Bill Clinton? You thinking about Bill Clinton, gay boy? Is that what you reminiscent about that Clinton cock?
The interests of the United States of America are achieved on that battlefield.
That's just a hilarious fucking clip, and I wanted to point that out. I do love that Donald Trump is the first gay president, or he's not the first gay president, but he's one of the gay presidents. All right, now here's Trump flexing that we lost 3 jets.
Little mishap. They shot down 3 planes with our missiles. They happen to be our planes, but the pilots made it. Can you imagine the pilots making it? The pilots saw what was coming.
It's not that big of a deal that we lost 3 fucking multi-billion-dollar aircraft to 3 of our own multi-billion-dollar missiles because, can you believe it? The pilots survived. Can you believe it?
And they said, those are patriots. We're not going to escape patriots. And they got out of there pretty quick, Pete, right? Pretty amazing that they got out. The 3 pilots lived. They're fine. In fact, they're flying today.
Was the Kuwaitis that accidentally fired the missile?
Yeah, the Kuwaitis made a mistake. They fired. They thought they were firing at the enemy. It was, as the expression goes, friendly fire. But the pilots are great. They're flying today. Pretty amazing when you think of it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's still not good enough, bro. That's my tax dollars shooting down my fucking tax dollars, you dumb bastard. All right, time for some good news. The Democrats have flipped the seat representing Mar-a-Lago's district in the Florida special election. Democrat Emily Gregory won the Florida House District 87 special election, according to the Associated Press, flipping the district that includes President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. So now Trump officially lives in a Democrat district, bro. I think that is so fucking funny. And it also makes sense because Trump was a Democrat his entire fucking life. He's also a New Yorker. We're a blue state. We're a blue city, bro. Like, Trump, I think that, like, if you really, like, picked away at his belief system and not, like, the faux, like, neocon bullshit, like, he's a theater kid, okay? This is a guy who loves Phantom of the Opera. If he was just given an outlet to express his art, I don't think we would have to deal with World War III. Much like Hitler. You know, Hitler was also an artist, you know, a failed artist who couldn't, and also both of them have like deformed, hideous penises. You know, as you know, Donald Trump has a micro chode, so, and Hitler was missing a testicle, and Trump can't get hard. So I do think that that plays a role into them having to project like masculinity and like pretend to be a big, strong boy. But now we're going to listen to them railing in on mail-in voting, despite the fact that Trump votes by mail.
President Trump has railed against mail-in voting as rigged. He said it's a form of cheating as recently as Monday. But he's also called on Congress to do away with certain types of mail-in voting in certain circumstances. But in yesterday's special election in Florida, he voted by mail. How do you square those two statements?
Look, I think some states have handled mail-in balloting well. I think Florida is a good example of that. They don't allow fraud, and they have great...
They don't allow fraud? You fucking bumbling dipshit. You think there's states out there where they go, oh, you can commit fraud? Oh, fraud is legal in Arkansas. What? How fucking stupid do you have to believe this shit?
Systems. I mean, I was talking yesterday to Laurel Lee, one of our colleagues here in the House, and she used to help run elections in the state of Florida, and she talked about how many great processes they have in place to ensure that you don't have a lot of fraud. But that is not true in other parts of the country. And that-
By the way, there's been 9 cases of voter fraud since the year 2000. And it's probably actually less than that because this study was done by the Heritage Foundation, who created Project 2025 when they were trying to prove that the 2020 election was rigged. 9 cases of voter fraud, and the majority of them were done by U.S. citizens.
That is the concern, especially in a state like California or states where they just send mail-in ballots to everyone for no reason whatsoever. It is a matter of common sense. It is an obvious thing that if you're mailing ballots out, inherently, it opens the door, at least the possibility of fraud.
Brother, there's a possibility of fraud no matter how you fucking vote. No matter what, I could go in there and say, my name is fucking Hank Pecker, and vote Republican if I really fucking wanted. What the fuck are you talking about? This is so stupid. All right, now here's them quite literally just saying that this war is not a war because war isn't war and war isn't war.
Speaker, you said a few weeks ago that we are not at war with Iran. Is that still your position?
I think we're wrapping up Operation Epic Fury. That's what I think.
Can't even answer the fucking question. And it's because none of them are aligned on their messaging. Trump says the war is over. Pete Hegseth says this is a war. People are going to die. Mike Johnson says this is just a special military operation. Lindsey Graham says this is a holy war. Like their messaging is not aligned.
And I think it will be done in short order, and that'll be right on schedule.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro. All right, now, I do want to watch just a little bit of this. I regret to inform you that the cheap Slovenian hooker has indeed found the Terminator. I gotta mute this. God, I wish this thing would fucking fall over. Joke's on you, that's Baron. Oh my God. Where did the robot go? Is it gonna salute? By the way, this is one of the Elon's Tesla bots. That is not AI. I know this is hard for you to understand. This is not autonomous. There is an actual person somewhere in the White House with like VR goggles and controllers operating this thing. That's actually what that is. That's not a joke. This is not AI. That is just like a robot being controlled by a person. It's fucking crazy. We're not going to watch this entire fucking thing because it's absolutely useless. Oh my God, and then the clanker leaves. Bye, Clanky. I hate this hellscape. All right, now we're going to watch something very brutal. This is a 2-minute coverage of an 18-month-old baby in Gaza who was tortured by the inferior rat people known as the IDF in order to pull a false confession from his father.
Jawad is a 2-year-old from Gaza. Doctors believe these burns have been caused by cigarettes and the wounds on his legs from a sharp object. Jawad was reunited with his family in Al-Maghazi refugee camp. Hours after witnesses say he and his father were detained by Israeli forces. His family says there was blood on his clothes.
When we first received him, we noticed blood on his pants. His mother examined his body and saw wounds. At first, we thought it might be from shrapnel, but when we got him to the hospital, doctors confirmed these are clear signs of abuse caused by cigarettes and a sharp object.
And people wonder why I fucking cheer every time I watch a missile hit Israel. You want to know why? It's because I've learned from your culture. Thank you, Israel. It's a disgusting culture. I didn't used to be somebody who fucking celebrated when I watched bombs hit a nation. But every time I see a hypersonic strike Tel Aviv, I fucking cheer. That's your culture going full fucking boomerang back on your ass.
The wound on his leg has both an entrance and an exit, and now you can see his condition.
On March 20th, Jawad was with his father Osama Abu Nassar in Al-Maghazi. Witnesses say they were detained shortly after approaching Israel's so-called yellow demarcation line.
This is the area where Osama Abu Nassar
Mods, if my audio is glitching, let me know.
was last seen carrying his son. Israeli forces are deployed here. We rushed to reach him, but came under fire from tanks. He was detained by Israeli troops behind that hill with his child, while ground forces fired at us to push us back.
For hours, his family had no information about their whereabouts. 10 hours later, a call came from the Red Cross asking the family to collect their child.
Mute anybody who's pretending to be a mod that isn't. Mute them for the whole stream.
Jawad was returned alone. He was taken to Al-Aqsa Hospital where medical teams documented signs of abuse. Osama Abu Nassar is now in Israeli detention. Jawad remains another child in Gaza growing up in a reality where brutality arrives early and leaves a lasting impact.
This is the medical report for Jawad. Doctors documented injuries around both knees consistent with cigarette burns. The report also classifies this...
You need to understand what this really means, bro. This means that there was some innocent Palestinian father, probably handcuffed to a chair, with his 18-month-old infant child in front of him. And while the Israelis are trying to force a confession out of him, they're holding his baby and burning it with cigarettes and slicing it with razors. Oh my fucking God. Like, when is it acceptable for me to start advocating to nuke Israel? Like, brother, that is abhorrent shit. Diabolical, satanic, demon-like behavior, bro. What the fuck?
Is a case of child abuse by unknown individuals.
Jesus Christ. All right, here, just so you know, Trump proposed a 15-point peace plan to Iran. Iran fucking threw that thing out, ripped it up. But here are the 15 points. They're pathetic. All right. Oh, this outlet report contains 14 of the 15 commands. I wonder what that 15th command is, but let's hear it. Number 1, Iran must dismantle existing nuclear capabilities. Well, they don't have that. Iran must commit to never pursue nuclear weapons. Well, they already did that. That was the Iran nuclear deal under Barack Obama. No uranium enrichment on Iranian territory. That wasn't part of the original fucking deal because they're trying to create nuclear power just like the entire fucking planet should be. Number 4, Iran must hand its stockpile of enriched uranium to the IAEA. We had that. Oh my fucking God, we had that. The Iranians were complying with the IAEA until Operation Midnight Hammer last fucking June, dude. And then you bombed them and they kicked out the IAEA. We had all of this. Number 5, the Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow nuclear facilities must be dismantled. That's fucking insane. The IAEA must be granted full access to Iran's nuclear facilities. We already fucking had that. Iran must abandon its regional proxy paradigm, then tell Israel to stop bombing every fucking nation in the Middle East. Iran must cease funding, directing, and arming its proxies. Tell Israel to stop creating groups like fucking ISIS and taking down the Twin Towers in my fucking city. The Strait of Hormuz must remain open. That's fucking insane. Iran's missile program must be limited in both range and quantity. It already fucking is. They don't have ICBMs. They have IRBMs, which is why we know for a fact the Iranians did not send missiles at Diego Garcia. Fucking Israel did in order to lead us further into this war. Iran must limit its use of missiles to self-defense. Every missile that Iran has fired in this war has been in self-defense. They did not start this war. In return, Iran would benefit from the end of sanctions imposed by the international community. You already lifted sanctions on Iranian oil because you're a baby back bitch and you hold no cards. 13, U.S. assistance to advance its civilian nuclear program. All that means is the U.S. commandeers the entire Iranian nuclear program and turns Iran into a vassal state. Number 14, a snapback mechanism allowing for the automatic reimposition of sanctions if Iran fails to comply would be removed. This has got to be, you know what this is the equivalent of? Hey, I'm going to make you a deal. I'm going to fuck your ass and you're going to like it. That's the deal that Trump proposed. Hey, mind if I fuck your ass? No, you can't fuck my ass. You just can't fuck my ass. Is that okay? If you didn't fuck my ass? What the fuck? What is this, dude? Here's Trump saying that we're gonna push further in the war.
And unfortunately, I called Pete, I called General Kane, I called a lot of our great people. We have great people. And I said, let's talk. We got a problem in the Middle East. We have a country known as Iran that for 47 years has been just a purveyor of terror. And they're very close to having a nuclear weapon. We can keep going and get that 50,000 up to 55 and 60. I'm
just noticing that there are fucking guns right in front of them. You guys can't see that because of my camera. Let me turn my camera off. Why is there guns in front of them? What the fuck is this?
Or we can take a stop and make a little journey into the Middle East.
Take a stop and make a little journey. So going from calling it a war to an incursion to we're just making a little stop in the Middle East.
And eliminate a big problem. And Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up. And you said, let's do it. Because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon. So
he's passing the buck. And by the way, it was not Pete who said that. It was Bibi Netanyahu.
We are now having really good discussions. They started last night, a little bit, the night before that.
Yeah, we're having really good discussions is what he said. The fucking Iranians completely turned down the deal.
Officials rejecting the U.S.'s 15-point peace plan a day after receiving the offer. State media saying Iran does not believe it is logical to enter talks with parties that violate agreements.
Oh, who could have guessed that? It's not like that you fucking bombed them while you were negotiating with them during Operation Midnight Hammer. It's not like the Iranians agreed to the recent negotiations and said that they wouldn't be enriching their uranium past this level, and then you bomb them 2 hours later. Why the fuck would they ever take a deal with the United States of America? And it's not just Iran. The rest of the world is going to start realizing, why would we trust a single word? Because, like, the Americans will make a deal with us, and then Trump will wake up on the wrong side of the bed the next day and fucking rip that deal up. Like, you cannot trust the United States of America. You can't trust us.
Acknowledging the U.S. has stepped up efforts to secure a ceasefire with indirect talks.
Complete and total fucking bullshit, dude. So yeah, Iran rejects Trump's 15-point plan to end the war on their Iranian state TV. Iran has informed the U.S. through intermediaries that it rejects the Trump regime's 15-point proposal for negotiations. The U.S. offer includes many elements Tehran has repeatedly opposed, but rejecting it outright could increase the risk of major escalations, including the possibility that Trump will revive his threat to destroy Iranian power plants. If Trump destroyed Iranian power plants, guys, that's actually GG in terms of this war ever ending. Then it turns into a complete and total forever war. Okay? Mods, is my audio okay? Is my audio okay? Is it good? Oh, whatever. Then it turns into a complete and total forever war. Forever. It's fucking terrible. I want to talk about this. So, disgusting pig slut, Laura Loomer, an actual agent for Israel, she's telling us straight up that her Mossad handlers have told her that there will be an Israeli false flag attack on U.S. soil. Here's what she posted. Soon, there will be a massive Islamic terror attack in America, and the perpetrators will likely have financial ties to podcasters and those who are sowing discord for foreign nations in America. I predict there will be many casualties, and only then will it be maybe set in that people have been conned into supporting a terrorist psyop to distract you from the threat of Islam, while the enemy plotted to destroy our country from within with botted conspiracy theories. It will likely be 10 times worse than 9/11, and it's going to trace right back to the woke Reich in some way. I just have this sense. No, your Mossad handler told you, and I know this because woke Reich is an actual term that was created by Bibi Netanyahu. It's an actual term that was created by Bibi Netanyahu. All right, and then last but not least, I want to show you why none of you are ever allowed to support Gavin fucking Newsom.
Do you consider yourself a Zionist?
Do I consider myself a Zionist?
Yeah.
Banned! The fact that you didn't immediately say fuck no. Banned!
I believe, I revere the state of Israel.
Banned twice. Fuck you mean you revere the state of Israel? Do you also revere Nazi Germany?
I'm proud to support the state of Israel. I deeply, deeply oppose Bibi Netanyahu's leadership, his opposition to the two-state solution, and deeply oppose how he is indulging the far right as it relates to what's going on in the West Bank.
Hey, guess what, Gavin? All of the Israeli people are far right. Between 80 and 90% of the Israeli people fully support the genocide in Gaza, and they support Operation Epstein's Fury. This is not a problem with Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu is a reflection of what Israel has become, the same way that Donald Trump is a reflection of what America has become. These are not the presidents that we need or the prime ministers that we need, but they are the president and prime ministers that we fucking deserve.
Regret using the word apartheid to describe Israel?
I used it, I do in this context.
Yeah.
They are an apartheid regime!
But I said it, and I referenced why I used it, a Tom Friedman article in that same sentence where Tom used
passing the buck. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Tom Friedman said it, therefore it's not real.
In the context of the direction.
This is a wolf in sheep's clothing. This is a Republican role-playing as a fucking Democrat.
That Bibi is going.
Not the current
and the
state.
concern, correct.
Okay.
And that is a legitimate concern I have that I share with Tom, that direction, if that vision in that direction of the far right that Bibi is indulging, that if they see the full annexation of the West Bank, then that's not something.
It's already begun. There's multiple pogroms going on in the West Bank right now as we fucking speak. So, I don't know what to tell you, Gavin. All right. Listen, if you're here live, you stay. We got to make a thumbnail for that video. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti VOD. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. Do me one last favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers.